And we're live. So
No,
yes, everybody can hear.
Yep, your sound is really good. Broke Loader's here.
Yeah, I see Broke Loader's here.
Hey, Broke Loader. What do you guys call it? The treehouse?
Treehouse.
Tin Man, doesn't he call it the treehouse or something?
What treehouse? Huh? Treehouse?
I think
Treehouse Club? No, that's something else.
Here we go. Now,
PCC's having some trouble with his earbuds, I think. What do you got? Wired ones now? No?
Well, I thought I had them synced to the phone, and I tested it out before I logged into StreamYard, but then they stopped working, and it's going through the mic and on my phone and stuff. So we'll just leave it go at that.
Okay, so
Yeah, I hate those things. Let them fall out. Trying to be quiet at night and not wake up the wife. And the big ones that just sit there, they always fall out.
Yeah, they're just they're regular Apple, earbud things, a Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
Mine have like a rubber end on them, so they kind of stay in, like a
they have
sort of thing.
They come with like 3 different sizes, so you can fit for your ear
sizes.
Yeah.
Yes. So on StreamYard, I can't tell who the mods are. I didn't make you a mod, Jim. I made PCC a mod and Cranky.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can. So you can put a wrench on me if you want.
Yeah, I have to do it through Studio on my. I can't do it on my phone.
Well, can you see the live chat on the side?
Yeah, can I? But okay. Can I do it there?
On my name and click on my name and add moderator, I guess.
Oh, I have to do it in YouTube, not on StreamYard. And
I think if you just click on Samsung.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, when it's live, I can do that. So put a comment in, Uncle Jim.
Okay, I'll throw some hammers. Boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang. Pow.
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
You got the wrench.
Yep, there's a wrench. Now let me delete Broke Loader. No.
Oh, Cranky's here.
Yeah.
6-shooter texting
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a test 6-shooter so he can put wrenches down. So if he goes live Saturday, we don't get a bunch of trolls and he can get rid of them.
Cranky's got a wrench. Okay, that's good.
Cranky.
Oh, shoot. So that's good stuff. PCC, what do you want to shoot on Monday?
What's that?
What do you want to shoot on Monday?
Oh, well, I'm not sure yet. I gotta load some ammo, maybe the 38.
Yeah, I have
22.
I have some projectiles for 270 and some trail bombs. Probably do that again.
Yeah.
I shot all my test loads, but I've got projectiles left.
CW Longshot is here.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, the StreamYard's chat's going kind of slow. But yes, I can see him on my other device. CW, hello.
Yeah, the live on YouTube.
We're just doing a. Yeah, we're just doing a little trial here with some wrenches.
Getting prepared.
There's one scope cover.
It's my
Uh-oh. Well, that's interesting.
What's that?
Well,
we lost him.
no, well, what's interesting is I'm watching the chat on my iPad, and I have the StreamYard running on my phone, and every StreamYard and YouTube's out of sync.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be delayed.
Yeah.
It's a few seconds delayed. So we got
yeah. So I warped there. That's not a good thing. That's why the connection seems to be maybe a little better with the phone.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to try this. I mean, it works great for the changing the Brady Bunch thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Could it reconnected right back up?
Yeah, it did.
So, yeah, I just had to enter myself again.
You got an old Lyman powder measure?
Yeah, 55.
With the weight on it? Yeah.
Yep. Got the
tapper.
The tapper. It only measured like 16 and a half grains of Trail Boss. It's wide open.
That's plenty. 16.
It's enough. It's right about in the middle for 270.
Oh.
Yeah, I think max on 270 Trail Boss is like 19 grains or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I did some 308, what I put in that thing. Tin Man is here. Hey, Tin Man.
Oh, geez. Curtis, I think I put you in the invite.
So we're doing some high power then Monday too. That's what you're saying? You're bringing the 270?
I was just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the same boat. I don't have loaded ammo for it. If we're going to go to the high power range, I'll have to load some.
Yeah.
But I got 3 bricks of Federal Auto Match 22.
Well, you gave Tin Man a wrench.
I did.
He says you got better lighting out there, Uncle Jim. Did you change the lights?
No, I'm using the Chromebook. And usually when I do live chats, I use the laptop because the Chromebook I'll go green screen. You've seen that, Tin Man. So as long as I'm a guest, it works fine. StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
So the camera's different. It's probably higher resolution, and I have it on lower right now just because I was playing around with the green screen guy. Let's see, I can get rid of the email.
Oh, he disappeared.
Yeah, he must have bumped a button there or something.
Yeah, I guess.
My resolution must be turned down. I think I did that because I was worried about the connection being
Oh, yeah.
poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I did change some settings. And so it's kind of janky. Nope. We've got Uncle Jim here.
Yeah,
and we're
back.
live.
Oops.
Hey. Yeah, that's when I run that on my phone. I have to watch. I don't hit something that's like not kosher.
Yeah, Tin Man nailed it. Wrong button. I was trying to get rid of the email, but I guess I got to leave that on with it. So the invite email, on the bar at the top. So, oops.
CW, I can get rid of the email. Oh.
I made you a drunken promise a couple weeks back, and that is the only thing that stuck. Just got to get to post office. What? Who's he talking to?
You, Uncle Jim, I believe.
No, that'd be bad. That'd be bad.
Cranky's got dinner to eat.
Okay, Cranky, enjoy that pineapple pizza.
Yeah, we might not be on terribly long. You never know.
Well, hopefully not past midnight. That was past my bedtime last night.
Okay, that was Tin Man. Good. All right.
Oh, okay.
Good. Cease and desist.
Yes, so yeah, I kept PCC up past his bedtime last night.
Oh, early sleeper, early to rise.
He's pretty much, I believe.
Yeah, that's good. Crack of dawn. Before dawn.
Yeah.
I like before the sun comes up. Sometimes the light cats last that long.
You get a picture of the sunrise from the garage?
Did I or
No, I'm just saying at that time. You've been up too late when you're watching the sunrise.
Yeah. No, sunrise is over the mountains, so I got to wait for them to come over the mountains. Sunset.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sunrise is behind a mountain also. So
yeah.
Even in the summer, it's probably 8 o'clock till I get full sunlight. But it makes for a long, cold winter also.
Yeah, I told you it's time to start thinking about fuel oil.
Oh, yeah, the fire-breathing dragon. Yeah.
Well, did it hit the 90s out there, Uncle Jim? You said it was supposed to get hot.
Oh, let me check my phone. I had issues today. I was supposed to be out working on the driveway. Let's see what our temp is here. 96. Today is cooler. It's 93 right now. Where's Jerry? I thought he was coming on. Oh, he's coming on Saturday. Okay.
I sent him a link because I guess I realized he had off work. So.
Whoa, check this out. 96, 91, and then on Tuesday, 62 with a low of 28. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, at night, does it get cold there in the summer?
Not in the summer. That's the first 28. That's wintertime. Wow. And then 73, 78, and back up to the 80s. That'll be a nice little break. I just wish we got rain in there somewhere. Wow, 28?
Yeah.
Monday, 39. It'll go from 91 degrees to 39 at night. Wow.
Yeah, talk about temperature shock is right.
Might have to start covering up the hose spigot thingies.
Yeah. Yeah, mine says 81 in town, but I'm sometimes 10 degrees different here.
Procloder said it's going to snow. Oh, don't even say that. Don't even say that yet. I love the snow, but not this early.
Yeah.
Matter of time. It's coming.
Yeah, I got
it is. I can.
Yeah.
I can definitely feel fall is like really here.
Yeah, today I thought was pretty nice.
Yeah, it is nice here. It's very nice.
Oh,
But yeah, it'll creep in to the point where you get a rain shower and it won't dry off for a day or two.
wow. 6-shooter gets up at 4:15 a.m. Now that is early.
Yeah, I don't.
Wow,
I
low
avoid
80s.
that.
Yeah,
So
fall is.
six shooter Texan. Are you actually in Texas?
Yes.
Okay. What is it? Michael
Otherwise, it'd be-
Signs? Michael Signs, his channel name's Texas Outlaw or something. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
not so sure he's actually in Texas though.
No, he's not in Texas. He wants to be. Yeah.
Okay,
Or he
that's what
was.
that's about.
He was in Texas and he wants to go back.
6-shooter says he lives in Magnolia, Texas.
Wow, I'm not sure where that is.
I don't know where that is. Central, north, south, east, west. Magnolia. There's a Magnolia in Seattle.
That's a big state.
Yes, it is.
I'll bet it takes 8 hours to drive across that.
Longer. What was his name? The one sales guy, Scott Rob something. Rob Armstrong was the Texas rep, and I
don't
think
remember.
they could drive for more than a day and like still be in Texas. It's so big.
Oh yeah.
PCC and I used to work at the same place. So that's how we know each other. And he's probably an hour away from me, or 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes. He says he's southeast of northwest Houston.
Southeast part of the state,
And
northwest.
he says 18 hours if you're on I-10 to cross
Holy
Texas.
crow!
I
So
told
it's
you,
bigger.
I knew it was more than a day.
Bigger than I thought.
Yeah, that is a while.
Texas is crazy big.
That is longer than our move back and forth. So yeah, that was a 16-hour drive through. That's 3 states.
Yeah, where were you? Up Oregon or something?
Washington State.
Oh, okay. I thought it was up there somewhere.
So we went through that, Idaho and Utah to get to here. And that's 15 and a half, depending on your speed and brakes, but 15 and a half, 16.
Yeah, that's a long drive.
And we do it sometimes because of daylight savings. Going back to Washington, we drive it straight. Otherwise, we'd stop and at a hotel, and because it gets dark and you start hitting deer and everything else.
Right. Yeah, for some reason I thought at one time that CW was in Maine, but I guess he's in maybe Western Connecticut or something.
Connecticut, yeah.
Longer north and south.
To the tips. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that's incredible. It takes that long a drive time.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw on the cruise control. I don't think there's many passes. I'm sure there's spots, but I'm sure a lot of it's flat. That's what's great about the spot in Idaho we'd take. It was like, oh, break, no more going over all these passes. You know, you're going straight up, you're going straight down. You got truckers and everything to stay out of their way. They're trying to get up the hill. And then once you
Right.
get, you hit the cruise control and almost fall asleep. It's just,
Yeah. Aren't there some places out west or some places in Texas that don't really have a daytime speed limit, or if they do, it's pretty high compared to your normal like 65?
Montana used to be do whatever you want on certain freeways. I don't know if it is anymore. We're 85 here, so everyone goes 90 or more, you know.
Yeah, that's the way. Yeah.
Yeah, West Texas, yeah, can be mountainous, I guess.
Yeah.
And then what's right next to it? Is it New Mexico? Boy, my geography's horrible.
I think so. Oh, yeah, 80 or 85, I guess, is speed limit.
There's one pass we go over. When you start going down, there is a collection of cars and school buses and trucks over the cliff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, you know, you get snow and everything. So there's this one, I don't know I forget what they call it. It's not like Devil's Turn or something, but a lot went over the side because you're going down, then you're turning, and there's a little collection area.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You can get nasty ice and, snow, and people lose their brakes, and then they can't take the corner. And that's where it's a little section there. I think that was, we go through Oregon also. I think it's in Oregon where it was. Yeah, you cut through the tip of Oregon, bottom tip of Idaho.
And is that on an interstate?
Yeah, well, that's the pass. Yeah, it's a main freeway to get to Idaho. Yeah.
We have truck runoffs here. Not so much on the interstates, but like the more rural routes.
Yeah, they have those, but this spot is just a problem spot. I think a school bus full of people went over, and it's bad. We got caught in the fog once. Me and my son always have an adventure every trip. We get up top of the pass, and it's pure fog. You can't see 20 feet ahead of you, and all of a sudden you're freaking out because you're on a windy pass, all cliff, to your left, and cars and everything. And that was scary. That was real. And you can't stop, can't really pull over. There's nowhere to pull over. So we started creeping up on people and saw taillights and everything. And we found somebody and just kind of followed them.
Yeah.
And then once you got down a few hundred feet, then it was okay. But that was ugly.
Chris 338, hello.
Hey, Chris. Floyd Hicks is here. Hey, Floyd.
Yeah.
Floyd Hicks, hello there, buddy. We're just doing a little demo here. Check out our equipment.
Try to get the bugs ironed out.
Yeah, I had a little robot in there earlier, so the connection is a little questionable, but it's holding on, so that's good.
Yeah, you had like one big problem last night, I think, where we lost you for a couple minutes.
Yeah, and that was probably my fault because I was messing around with StreamYard and on the phone.
Oh.
Because on the phone it's tough to get access to all the buttons. And some of the buttons I don't even think are there at all.
I discovered that tonight. Mobile
Yeah,
app is different.
Yeah. This is definitely more friendly on a laptop.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
But I measured my hotspot before I came on, and we'll see how much it uses. I'll get an idea of
Ah, gotcha.
what the usage is for the time we were on.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I can tell whether I can be able to do this with a laptop or not through a hotspot.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the name of that channel with the old clips and cartoons and that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Public domain television.
Domain television.
Yeah, public domain television.
Output? What? What was the first part?
Public.
Oh, public domain television. Okay. You know what I find funny? Sometimes I'll watch them just to remind me when I was a kid are the old commercials for the toys or the food or a razor or smoking. It's just so funny. I love the old commercials, 50s, 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, some of that stuff is interesting. You certainly wouldn't see that type of writing or commercials today. No doubt.
Awesome
There's
toys. Slightly dangerous toys. It's awesome. Yeah.
There's a channel that I subscribe to, and PCC subscribes to it. They do all Alice Chalmers tractor videos.
Oh
They're
yeah,
all-
J&L
Yeah.
videos. That's all they do is Alice Orange.
And there's some of those tractor channels that they're so old. They're like, I think they're black and white. Some of them.
Do you have tractors?
Well,
No,
I grew
I
up
don't.
on a farm, Uncle Jim.
Uh-huh.
That's what my dad used to run was Alice. So
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm in a really rural area, so there's a lot of antique farm equipment shows and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a local guy. At one time, he had like 50 farmalls.
Wow.
And he was an organizer for the event that they put on yearly. And I used to work at a sawmill, and he would run a sawmill, a planer. I think it was a planer
Off a belt.
off a belt with a Farmall M,
Yeah.
and cool stuff like that. And then later he bought a steam engine, a steam tractor,
Huh.
and he used that with a belt to thresh oats, and with a steam tractor, which is really kind of cool to watch.
Yeah. I love old tractors. A lot of people use them as yard art, the real old ones, and just stick them out front.
Mhm.
They're cool. Sun.
Just 338.
Time to go in the garage. I'm charging batteries.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Might do a video one of those days. You don't want to do anything or touch nothing because everything goes bad.
A 7,000 that your dad had, PCC?
what's that?
Your dad had a 7,000? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that was he had a pair of them actually. That was the two big 100-horse tractors he used for plowing and disking and stuff. But 6060 I think was a 60-horse. That was a smaller one. He mostly used for mowing hay, hauling hay wagons and some stuff like that.
10 Man's getting the 300 blackout?
Yeah, I guess he ordered a barrel.
Well, he's loading for it. He has a barrel.
Oh, okay.
Right now, it's not a good time to buy a barrel.
No, probably not.
I mean, they're out there. They're just a little pricier. Let's see if you
Yeah.
can see this.
What
Right.
you got going on there?
Let's see if I can get over here. See that yellow thing back there?
Yeah.
That's a monster tractor. That's the first year Cub Cadet.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's under the stairway, so I can't. Yeah, you can hardly see it.
Yeah, that's pretty old. That might be what, 40s?
No, it was what is that? 1960, 1959.
Oh, okay. That's before they went yellow and white then, probably.
It is yellow and white. It's just rusty. I clear coated it rust like, so it's like a rat rod.
Right.
Yeah, we
Oh,
drove it
retro.
around up here, but we changed engines, so we put a pull start in. That way we can just pull start it. No batteries. I hate batteries.
Yeah, well, it probably has a Kohler on it.
It did, but I took that out because it's battery operated. I sold it before the move. Should have kept the engine, but it was really heavy engine and I wanted to pull start. So you just pull it, no battery, boom, bang. And we drove it that way. I got a little tiny engine right now. Yeah.
Thorzax, hello. Yeah, we're test run too. And I have Fridays off, so we can come on here a little earlier, and we don't want to disrupt the Georgia shooters.
I don't think we would be quite doing that.
I don't think so either. I just had to throw it out there. It's funny. But yeah, I mean, we got says 9. I don't know. So it's all good. Yep, Thorzak, it's a buggering, debuggering something. So we just threw out some wrenches so that we had a little bit of that.
Taking Uncle Jim's advice, getting some mods ready.
Yep.
Yes, after Trollfest 2000. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We got hammered. Good thing there's a couple people with wrenches because
I watched that chat. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was watching it too. Yeah, I never saw anything. Never saw anything like that before. Georgia shoot connection or anything. Never.
Yeah.
Well, they did. They had a run one day or that one night, but yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim. That one chat that got the person came in. I don't remember who it was. We didn't know who they were, but they said they got there because they did a search for some singing artist.
Huh.
And I didn't recognize the name of the artist. But they ended up at your live chat, so I thought that was pretty funny. And they were nice enough to stop in and say, well, I searched for this and I ended up here.
Oh, I remember that. I forget what.
I didn't recognize the artist. And Jim says, well, hello, thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
weird.
I remember that.
I have very few videos that I tag, so I don't put tags on them. So it's kind of weird that they found it. It must have been in a title or something.
Probably. I sometimes tag stuff.
Yeah, tagging will get people like whatever they're interested in, but I don't do it.
Yeah, if you put in 50 BMG and it
Yeah.
comes up in the search pretty easily.
or blowing up stuff, and yeah, those kind of bits, they get a lot of hits and stuff, but yeah, not into that.
Yeah, I think it's better to just try to stay away from some of that.
Yeah.
Did you do any work on getting your contact lists into that other email?
Well, it won't sync to it, which I thought it would. So I have to manually do that.
Oh, what a pain.
And I didn't do it yet, so I just threw it out of the regular email.
Hey, Tin Man, send your barrel to Kenny, and he'll throat it up for you. He's got the reamer for 300 blackout. He offered. All you got to do is send it to him and send it back. And I believe it's not from line, so no issues there. Even though nitrite's pretty hard on the reamers.
Yes, so he's changing out the barrel. Is that what he's going to do?
No, it's just overall length and ogive. So Kenny can fix that. Send him some dummy rounds and what you want, and he'll do that for you. He already told you. I'm playing with one of his devices, and it is awesome. The mystery gun. That is fun. That is a fun gun.
Yeah, what's it shoot?
9mm, but it's throated for big 38 bullets. Big heavy, so.
Yeah, they were like,
yeah,
they were 180, 190 grain, something. They were real heavy.
Yeah, the heaviest I tried was the 182 tacos. I got a dummy right here. So that's on a 9mm, and it's halfway down the case.
It sure is, because that was a long bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feeds and everything. So I can go bigger. The problem I'm having, and I haven't really tried, I just tried one double-ended wad cutter, but you got to stick them out, past the case, and that square edge is hitting the throat, I think. But I only played with one, and I can't remember if I sized the bullet. It was a dummy. And I got to size them down, 38s down to 3.56.
Right.
But it's fun. I have some cranky and tin bullets, and I got to test all those. Like, here's a cranky. This is a really good shooting bullet. That's an NOE 38, and it shoots it. I think I've loaded them in 9mm, and then I did a Tin Man, and that all shot in one hole. Here's a Tin Man in 9mm. That's 38, but it needed to be seated lower than this in the Foxtrot Mike's AR 9mm, and
Right.
So I think this new toy with the throat will probably. I'll check that right now, actually. It's a dummy round. I'll put it in there and see if it chambers without hitting the square edge. I think it will, because he throated it. And the good thing is you can shoot regular 9 and it's still accurate, even though it's jumping a hair. Let me try this guy. Oh, let's see if she chambers.
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about playing with some 38 wad cutters in 9 for the revolver.
Huh.
And I'll have to get a sizing die. I've been thinking about it. It'd be really kind of nice. It's easily identified by what the bullet is, what it would be loaded for.
Oh, well, it looks like I'll be taking a cleaning rod. It's still a little long. It's those square wad cutter ends that get it. So Yeah, that one's a little long. But I'll size her down just a few thou and it should be good. So, yeah, there's a ton to try. Yeah, I got to do King Kongs. That's a King Kong right there. That's 10 cavity mold.
Hmm.
And that
Yeah,
one's
10 cavity. Holy mackerel.
oh yeah, they're a heavy beast. Oh yeah.
You must have arms like Popeye.
Yeah, you need it. You need to actually rest it and open it up. I'll grab one right here. I got Godzilla. Oh, yeah. So you're looking at,
Wow.
and then you got to open them like this.
Wow.
And so, yeah, you're leaning it on the,
Right. Huh.
you're leaning it on one edge when you do that. And then you got a sprue plate that's got to crack open 10. And they didn't go light on the sprue plate. See how fat that is?
Yeah.
Everything is heavy duty. It's really fun. It was a learning curve starting, but
Yeah, that sprue.
you can actually get it under a lee pot going sideways. So I just did a little rest thingy, and I do it sideways on the lee, kind of.
Yeah, because
Anyway,
it would be too big to go straight in, wouldn't it?
it couldn't. You won't even you'll just get 5 cavities.
Right.
At
That
the most.
sprue plate looks like it's almost 3/8 of an inch thick.
It's a monster, yeah, but it's neat because it's got a big trough in it, so you can just pour right along, and it just troughs in there, and got a huge sprue, and it heats up good. Yeah,
I'm roboting bad here, so I guess it's clear now.
not doing too bad. Yeah, but if you do 38s and a 9, you got to be super careful of your volume in the case.
Yeah.
And pressure. So you back off your charges quite a bit because you got massive pressure trying to push that heavy bullet out of there. So
Yeah,
Did you ever weigh that 10 cavity mold emptied?
yeah, I did it in a video. I can go out in the garage. I got a nice scale out there and weigh it again. Next trip to the garage, I'll tell you what it weighs.
Okay.
I can't remember what it weighed, but yeah, I can do it right now while we're on the subject. I think one's heavier than the other.
That's a 160 grain 38 super.
Yeah.
And it's 730.
730. Let me do a taco. The tacos I've shot already in the 9. And I'll measure one of those. 739. 738. So there's a taco there.
Yeah.
739. 738.
That's a flat plate.
Yeah, it's got a little flat nose, but it feeds good because it rounds before it gets to the blunt nose. So it actually feeds good. Yeah. So
I bought some of these 38 super. I was having trouble finding regular 9 ammo, and I bought some of these.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you set it next to the 9 case, and it's almost the same length as the case.
Yeah, the taco bullet is almost the length of the case. So you're shooting a revolver, so it's up to your cylinder length,
Right.
So you don't have to worry about feeding and stuff. Just don't be crushing down next to the powder.
Right.
And back off your charge.
I think I had those. I had those all the way down to like 3 grains of Uh, Shooter's World Clean Shot.
Hmm.
And I can't remember what it's similar to. It's a reloader powder, I think, or something like that. There's
Never tried
a
it.
lot of people seem to think that Shooter's World is basically rebranded something else from, I think it's from Italy.
Well, is it?
Europe. Yeah.
Czech Republic. Czech Republic
Mm-hmm.
is what it says.
I'm
But-
trying to remember the name of the powder.
Lovix is the company.
Yes, Lovix powder. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And if you do some searching, there's some people think that it's rebranded. One of the other brands rebranded Europe or something. And I don't remember the.
It's the Lovix stuff, but I noticed that the European load data, if they're the same to the Shooter's World, at least with heavy pistol, I think it's a little on the high side. Europe's kind of on the high side.
I think it is too.
So I don't go directly off there. I just kind of work my way up and wing it, because there's no data really.
Yeah, the data it's kind of sketchy.
I've been very happy with Shooter's World heavy pistol and 44 mag. I got to do some 357, but it was really nice in 44 mag. It's a lot like number 9 powder.
And that might be, the heavy pistol is, there's similarities there, but you can't trust it across the data. You just gotta go light and work it up. But this clean doesn't like a real light load. It doesn't burn all the way. So I don't know if you ever see me shoot an event and I'm wiping my hands on my pants. When you pull the moon clips out, the unburnt powder's falling all over. Yeah, I would buy it again, but my local guy doesn't stock it. But I prefer the sport pistol for what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can't find it locally. MCK dropped it off with another jug that I need to test. That's a whole different one. Let's see what that was. Ultimate pistol. And when I got the camera off, let me go weigh one of these molds for you. I'll be right back.
So that's all you've tried so far, right? Was Clean Shot as far as Shooter's World?
That's the only Shooter's World I've tried.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like it. I think it's heavy pistol, and then there's whatever the powder is for 223. I've heard guys say they like it, and I don't remember what the name is. Six-shooter Texan. I got precision rifle.
Yeah,
Thorzak.
he said he bought about a pound to try.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's a hair over 6 pounds, so they're both a hair. A hair over 6 pounds.
And that's without lead. And that's empty. Yeah.
And then you get 10 cavities of lead in it. Yeah.
And way up for sure.
Yep. And you do feel it on your upper forearms. Yeah.
Well, I imagine.
And then you need a technique for like resting the end and then opening it. And especially if you're quenching, you got to hold it over. So I had 2x4s down over the bucket and just kind of opened it and shook them like that. Yeah.
Oh,
But it's awesome. You get 10 a pop. So 100 for 10 pours.
if I could find.
Yeah, Thorzak's. The Czech Republic. You you kind of think, wow, I wonder about that, but I've got one of their CZ pistols and I like it.
No, they actually, they're not a world country. They're like Rome almost. They're very sophisticated, and their guns are awesome.
Yeah, I went into one of our large gun shops out west of me, Grice Gun Shop, and an old timer working behind the counter there. He's like a part-time guy, but he's a shooter, and he goes, he had a used one in a case, and he goes, here, he goes, check this out. He goes, check out the double action trigger on that. And that's what got me interested in it, because I don't shoot it, I don't shoot double action, but I do have a holster. I don't, and I don't have the safety on it, so I have to decock it. It comes with a lever where you can change the safety out with a manual or use a decocker.
Which model is it?
CZP09. It's the
P09
polymer.
Okay. Yeah.
So I haven't decided whether I want to put the manual safety on it, but I've been decocking it. I've only shot Steel Challenge with it like twice.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is you draw, and that first shot's double action, and that makes it a little tricky.
Yeah. Well,
because then you come back for your second shot, and it's single action, and it catches you off guard.
Yeah, it throws the first shot a little bit.
Yeah, it's tricky to shoot that way. So I'm thinking I want to change the lever out for the manual safety.
Yeah, I have the older CZs, the first imported one, and the transition, and they don't have decockers. They're safeties. That's how they originally came. Then they went to decockers, and they shoot
so
awesome.
That would be a 10 folio or something?
No, they're CZs. It's called a pre-B, and then there's a transition model.
So that's a model 75 probably.
They're 75s, yeah, but they're pre-B, yeah. So imported mid-80s, and then the transition model had the newer looking style controls, but stayed without the firing pin safety and the decocker. And then they went to the B.
Okay.
But all the CZs are nice because it's got a low bore axis. It's close to your hand. The slide's inverted rails, which they got from the SIG 210. And so that makes it really accurate already. And then it's low to the hand. So a lot less flip.
Yeah.
It's just like natural. And they're tack driving guns.
That's a good part of the reason of why I bought it.
And they work. When I was buying them, they were kind of imported cheap. So they were $300. I paid $280 something for both. And people considered them truck guns. I'll just throw it in the truck, in the glove box. It's a truck gun. It's cheap. Now it's totally different what people think of them,
Mm-hmm.
But they were coming in cheap, brand new, or now you can get some surplus ones, the police or whatever, but they were considered that because of the price. And it's like, no, these are tanks. These are, these were high power killers. I mean, they were competing against the Browning high power, and they're stronger, and they got a little more beef on the back of the frame there on the lower. And so I was like, yeah, I'm buying these things up for this. I know it's a good gun. And sure enough, they are. They don't break. They're awesome.
Well, I don't have any of their other stuff, but the old timer behind the counter, he was into their shotguns. And I don't know much about them. I hardly ever see one.
They're nice shotguns.
I know somebody that has one of their 22s, and they say it's ultra accurate.
Yes, the bolt action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I had the 223 with I think it had a European stock on it. It was beautiful. Magazines were like $40-something for a 5-round mag, but it was a good shooter. Sold it to a buddy. Should have hung on to that one. 300 blackout would be awesome in that gun.
I looked at buying a 300 blackout rifle once, bolt action,
Yeah.
and I just never did it.
Yeah. It had a set trigger too, from what I recall. So you set it forward and you got the hair trigger. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not familiar with what that is you're talking about.
Well, you have your choice of regular, and then if you click it forward, it'll be a set trigger. So the sear is like half on the edge, and it just.
Oh, okay.
And you
That
do
would be
that
nice.
only when you're like on target down range. You do that, and you got your hair trigger, so you get your option.
Huh. Yeah, I wasn't aware that was the thing.
Yeah, set trigger's been around a long time. So that was a nice feature.
Have you worked in the firearms industry or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I kind of thought maybe you seem to really have a depth of knowledge.
Yeah, I quit my real job and did it for a fun job before retiring, and it's not so fun after a few years.
I can imagine. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime you start getting into work that was a hobby, it can be a burden.
Yes, it becomes not so fun. Just dealing with certain phone calls and people and getting swamped. And then pretty soon it becomes not fun because there's a lot of pressure on having to try and make everyone happy at the same time because they all showed up at the same exact time and all want this and all want to be written up and background check at the same time.
Yeah,
when it's like this, it's great. It's fine. And then you got your buddies that come in. And my favorite was the first place I worked. My boss retired, and that sucked. And then I got kind of thrown into the fire with a big place, and that wasn't. And they only had me as one employee for a while, and it was a bear. Lots of traffic. It was brutal. And then it became not fun at all.
Right. I had a similar experience in the motorcycle business. So I knew a guy that had a shop, and he went through a hard time, and I was helping him out. He basically goes, "You know a lot about this stuff." He goes, and he wanted to sell me the business. And I thought, I don't think I want to do that. So what I did was I helped him in service repair and, parts, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so I get exactly what you're talking about. You got the guy going, "My motorcycle's running funny." And they go, it makes this noise. And I'm like, "What?" And I'm thinking I'd like to tell the guy to hold the phone up to it, and so I can hear what it sounds like. But yeah, the odd phone calls, I get it.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe the phone calls you get.
Oh, I can just imagine.
When you're busy, yeah. So
that always kind of grabs me the wrong way too. Like you go to the auto parts store, and the guy's getting ready to check you out, and the phone rings, and they pick up the phone, and you're like, "What? Wait a minute, I'm right here." But I guess that's business, and that's how they conduct it. So.
Yeah, we had all kinds too. I was telling Tin Man, he would have loved this guy. This guy would come in every once in a while, and he had super long fingernails like this. But he wasn't like ear piercing or nothing. He just had long fingernails. And every time he showed him a pistol or something, he'd do this to your hand, like when he grabs the pistol. And so I had a buddy, when there was two of us, they finally got a bigger crew, and there was like three of us, and that was great because that took a lot of pressure off. But so I had this buddy that wouldn't tolerate he was, and he was a bouncer at night. And so I see the guy coming in and I'm like, boom, I go into the storeroom to get something. And the next thing I know, I hear, son of a bitch, what the hell was that? He almost killed the guy. Oh, it was so funny. But he real creepy with that to you. Oof.
Yeah, that is kind of creepy.
You get all kinds, yeah. But I was laughing. I'm in the storeroom just covering my mouth, laughing so hard. Oh, that was funny.
Oh boy, yeah, that is funny.
We had a lot of good times. Don't take
and that's what this was. It was, I had the knowledge, and like the guy would walk in with a clutch off of a snowmobile that was broken and lay it down on the counter, and he goes, "You have one of these?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think so. I think there's one up in the
08. Yeah.
I think there's one up in the top of the barn." And he goes, "You got one of those?" He says, "I'll kiss your ass." I said, Get ready to commence." And I went upstairs. We had bought this surplus from a dealer that was out of business. And I knew we had like a huge box of these. And I knew there was one in there. And I went up, and sure enough, there it was. I come back down. He goes, "What do you need for that?" It was used or really old stock, let's say. Some of it you couldn't tell if it was used. There was so much dust on it.
Yeah.
And so I looked up the price and I said, $65. I said, because the new one was like 150 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when you got it in their hand, it's like, yeah, they don't have to go somewhere and try to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really nice, and I got the experience, and I didn't even know this, but it was an Arctic Cat snowmobile dealer. And when you buy snowmobiles as a dealer, you have to buy so much clothing and so much parts and oil. And so we had bought like the minimum, like $500, it might have been $1,000 worth of clothing. Well, clothing's tough because of the sizes,
Yeah.
So we bought just the minimum that we could get away with. And like I said, this stuff was all in the top of a barn, and it's unfinished. It's real bad. And people would show up, ask if we had any clothing. I was like, "Yep, let's go upstairs. I'll show you what we have." And the owner told me, he said, "If you get a chance to sell this," he goes, "sell it for cost. I don't care."
Yeah, get it out of here. Yeah.
And he would come in like on a Saturday morning, and I'd walk in and he'd go, "What happened here last night?" I said, "Well, you told me to sell that stuff." I sold like 2 snowmobile suits, and there was like $400 of cash in the bin, He was like, "What happened?" We were a really small operation at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bad situation. He got put into by a partner that bailed out on him.
Oh, yeah.
Basically left him holding the bag, and there was some other stuff that went on. He was stealing stuff and taking people's money and not, making good on his promise. But it was a fun time.
Yeah. There are a lot of good times. I don't want to make it sound like a bummer. There's just certain times where it wasn't fun anymore. Your buddies don't come in first thing in the morning before it got busy, and everyone's having fun, and they go shoot in the range and come back, and that was always good stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of clothing, though, we used to sell vests and things like that, for carrying. And one guy brings back a vest to return it about 6 months after we sold it to him. And it was caked in dog hair. Absolutely caked. I mean, tip to toe. And it's like, I can't return this. Are you kidding me? And he's like, why not? It's covered in dog hair. Well, you can clean it up. Well, why didn't you clean it up before you brought it in here?
Exactly.
But nobody's going to buy a yellow dog hair on a black vest.
Mhm.
I didn't have a lint roller.
And I don't know. I don't understand why people just can't make that conclusion before they even try to.
Yeah, it was bad. It was pretty ugly. And I'm sure he wore it for a couple months. And you just can't return something like that. It's not Nordstrom's or whatever.
Well, yeah, and that's the mentality today. People, you know, what this isn't Walmart?
Well, a lot of stuff you can, you get the wrong stuff or the wrong mag or the wrong cleanings, this or the wrong, well, that's okay. Guns, you got to do paperwork again, so they don't realize that. Oh, I don't want this. Well, you have to, you have to put it on consignment. It's in your name. You can't just give it back to us, and
Right.
you get that a lot. I changed my
Right.
mind. I didn't like it. That's a paperwork item. So
Yeah,
Wasn't
because it doesn't actually go into the shop's possession per se, right?
no, say they buy it, do the paperwork, go home, come back later. You can't just say, okay, we'll put it back on the shelf. You can't. It's all documented. So they have to put it on consignment. And then it can't be the price of a gun that's not used, It's got to be a little less, even though it's brand new, but you brought it back in. So they have to, you take a consignment fee, so they're not getting the full price back. They're going to lose, $40 or whatever with the difference between a new gun and the consignment fee. We'd give them a break on it because on the consignment fee, it's just for doing the paperwork again,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guns aren't it's like a car. You buy a new car, you can't just go and sell it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're going to take a little hit.
A lot of people have a hard time.
I think Cranky was telling a story one night about a local shop near him where somebody had bought something and then a day or two later brought it back and decided that's not what they thought they were getting, or it was misadvertised or something. And do you remember him telling that story?
Yeah, and they have a permit on every gun they buy. So
yeah,
there was something.
Yeah, I think because once you use the permit, you can't reactivate it.
Yeah, something like that. So.
All right, so I think we've got this vetted out.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I think so.
Guns of Anarchy. Yeah. Or Sons of Anarchy. I'm sorry. I remember that show. Yeah. My old neighbors used to watch that show. She loved it. I was like, really? But they drove. They had a chopper and a hog, so that's probably why.
That's funny. Yeah, so the mags for that CZ pistol I have, yeah, they're terrible expensive.
Yeah, they can be a little pricey, the CZ mags, but you can get them on sale.
I found a guy not too far from me that did a online only is what his business is, and he sells guns too, and he was a big CZ guy because he was a competitive shooter of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And so I picked up magazines pretty as cheap as I could find them. But I still think they were $30-some.
Yeah, well, some guns you can buy the Magar mags. That's who made them for CZ. But CZ, I don't know if you get as many choices like high power mags. I just buy the Magars. They're the ones that made them for Browning. Same mag, a lot cheaper because of the branding.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure on some of the CZs if you can just get an actual Magar that's cheaper on some models.
Yeah, and so for Steel Challenge, you pretty much have to have 5 mags. So the cost of the mags adds up to a good portion of what the gun costs.
Yeah, it's good to have 5 for each pistol anyway, but yeah.
So then I bought a couple 10-round ones because that's really all you need for Steel Challenge to run one string. You know, ideally you should only need 5.
Yeah.
But PCC, he's shooting that Ruger PC9, and
He bought it because it said PC.
yeah,
Well, they just call it a pistol caliber carbine. I think that's what the model they go by. I don't think it's PC9.
yeah. The PC9 was actually in
The
the
older one.
late 80s, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and the 45.
Yeah,
They
they
also-
made it in 3 calibers, I think. And
They
the
had
idea,
40, I think. I think they had
What's
a 40. I think they had a 40.
I think
Yeah.
at least 40 and 9 or something, or maybe all 3. But they used the
think
mags for their pistols.
The current one you can get 940 and maybe 45 now, depending on what caliber you want.
I don't know if they did the 45 yet. That'd be intriguing.
Well, I'm not 100% on that either, but I know for sure a 9 in the 40 Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, everyone wants the 10 mil. I wish the Ruger, I'd buy one. They do it 10 mil. I'd do it because then you can use the pistol mags.
Mm-hmm.
But Ruger doesn't have a 10 mil pistol, so you got to use you know how they do Glock mags also on the new ones.
Mhm.
So you have the adapter for just using Glock 10 millimeter mags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good option for the
Yeah.
Well,
short.
I'm sure that's why they offered the Magwell adapter.
Yes, and Keltec was doing it with Smith & Wesson guns, and Glock, and I think there was one more. So you had options, but you had to buy the gun that way. They didn't have the adapters. Ruger was smart enough to do the adapters. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a Keltec, carbine at the pawn shop, but it's got Smith & Wesson mags, and it's been sitting there forever. If it had Glock mags, it would have been out of there. Because it's 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I forget what they call that Keltec. I looked at them one time.
Yeah, I went brain dead. The 2000.
2000 or yeah, I think you're right.
2000. Yeah. They're fun. They're very simple. It's just tough to put an optic on them because you're folding it,
Yeah, it had a folding
So you gotta
stock
do
on
a
it.
swivel over handguard, or a lot of people just leave them open anyway, but I don't know. Quick detach dot. The new ones have a better forearm on it with rails.
Oh, they changed them? Yeah, I didn't.
Well, put a rail fore end on it. Yeah, so you get. Yeah.
It's been some time since I looked at one. But yeah, we have that local big gun shop we have. It's like a mecca. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, huge, and they've been in business for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And it's like a building that's been added onto 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really big.
Yeah. Chris, the 10 millimeter sub 2000 would have a lot of kick to it because it's super light, and then you just have the spring there. no buffer. It's going to have a super heavy bolt. So they'd have to figure that one out unless they gassed it, put a little piston in there, but then it'll get expensive. So I don't think you're going to see a sub in 10 mil.
Yeah, that's interesting, Thor. The guy bought a Harley Super Glide. Never rode a motorcycle in his life. Wow.
Yeah, the neighbors that like the show, he had one of those, and then he had a Bourget custom chopper. If you know who Bourget is, I never cared for his style, but you know how expensive those are? Those are houses. Those are all, the Bourget was crazy. What was cool about it, though, is he had rims on it that you thought nothing was there. I forget how they did that. It was like a Mirage where you're seeing through it and there's no spokes, no nothing.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Those wheels were made sort of like a helicopter drive unit where, yes, it's very odd.
Yeah, you saw nothing there. So it was like, where's the spokes? Where's the rim? And then he had, it all came from Bourget. He had a snake paint job on it, like this snake, whatever. That was like the most awesome paint job ever I've seen. The gas tank was awesome. But I really never cared for the big, long, that kind of a thing. I'm like an Indian Larry type guy,
Right.
Keep it simple and small and nimble and and then twist your metal and make your, do that stuff. Do it all by hand.
And that's how I know what Bourget is because, years ago, all that chopper shows they put on TV.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I know. But there was a lot of that stuff I didn't have. I mean, some of it's practically unrideable.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. He buys the thing, and I don't know. I didn't ask him the price, but I know it's probably close to 100. I don't know, 100 grand, 80 grand. I don't know.
I want to say back in the day they were probably 80.
Yeah, so it's close to 100 grand. And here's the thing: whenever he stomped on it, it was super fast, super powerful. Whenever he stomped on it, the chain stretched. Okay, so this one didn't have a belt. Yeah. And so he was screwed every time. And I was like, what the hell? You paid all this money and the chain stretches every time you hit the throttle. And so I think they changed the design later. But I guess Bourget gave him a bunch of crap and didn't, fix it or honor it or whatever. And I was like, what the hell? It was, cool, but I think Bourget was more in selling parts, gas tanks and prefab frames and all that. That's where he makes his money.
That's probably true. And, like you start customizing a motorcycle, there's a good chance you're going to compromise something somewhere.
Yeah.
And they probably lengthened the swing arm and now the chain's longer. And it doesn't all add up.
Yeah. So recently, Indian Larry's personal bike that wasn't as fancy as others he made went on auction, but that bike was so nice. That was his favorite. Everything worked on it perfectly, and it wasn't too blingy, but it was like perfect. I mean, if you look at the bike, his personal bike, that was to me, that is a real chopper. Not huge, not long, nimble.
Right. He was
just cool.
He was more of the bobber style bike, I think.
Mm-hmm. But not like the bobbers you see, rat rod bobbers you see, people do.
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah, it's just very nicely done. That's what I like in a bike. Yeah. If I was rich, I would have bought one of his bikes just because. Yeah.
Yeah, used to see him quite often when the TV series was around.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting character.
Yeah, but I like how they're in a garage style shop and they're twisting metal in the frames with a torch and two guys doing this versus machine and prefabbed and someone makes your frames for you and all that. No,
there wasn't a lot of automation there, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was old school for sure.
Yeah. Plus, he was kind of rat finky, and that was a cool era. So
Yeah.
he did a rat fink bike, and his oil tanks and everything were cool, and what he'd do to the engines were cool. So I just kind of liked that.
And now every now and then I'll see one of these custom choppers, and the guy has it out on the weekend, and they hardly ever ride it because
Yeah.
they're just not something you're going to go for a long ride on.
Yeah.
Just sometimes not very practical. That's all.
Yeah.
And I've always had pretty basic Japanese stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. I had a lot of Jap bikes, so they're just turnkey. Another guy I like, I forget his name. Gosh darn it, it's on the tip of my tongue, but all his gas tanks were like the old school, and a lot of tractor parts and things like that. Gosh, what was his name? He was good. And his bikes were like 40s looking, but trimmed down. That was good stuff. What happened to PCC?
I don't know. Maybe he had to pee.
I gotta go. Oh, he said he had to go. Okay.
Yeah, that's. I've been into all kinds of hobbies over the years, and finally just decided I got to weed out some of this stuff. It just gets to be too much.
Mm-hmm.
Cars, bikes, and boy, if you don't use them, it's harder on them not using them. I think so.
Yep, that's what happened to me today. I'll probably do a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I started my morning.
Uh-oh.
I don't let stuff sit, especially with today's gas.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns green and does all kinds of stuff. Gets water in it.
Yeah, you definitely want to put some additives in there.
Yeah, chainsaws are like one of the worst.
Yeah, so the good thing is some chainsaws, when you turn them off, the gas will drain, out of the carb. So you don't have the icky stuff in the carb, so you can just dump the tank and put new gas in it, and you didn't screw up. Yeah. Others, not so much. My son was working on one today, and one of the tubes was sucking air, so he put a new gas line on it, or a tube. It wasn't the actual gas line.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, that new gas just eats up old gas line bad.
Oh, yeah, I have a Tool Trooper out there with the Briggs engine on it, and I'm dreading pulling the tank and looking under the carb, because I know it's going to be eating away in the bowl there.
Sometimes the old black hose will hold up pretty good, but a lot of the stuff they use in the last 15, 20 years before they come out with ethanol, it doesn't work too good.
Yeah, it was fairly cheap, $1 a foot or something like that. He put the new gas lines on it. You can see through them that are kind of orange.
Yeah, Tygon, I think they are.
Forget what they're made of, but they're supposed to be pretty darn good. I told him he should have bought 10 feet of it. I'm always looking for little gas lines.
Boy, that stuff can be expensive depending on where you go.
Yeah.
I went to a mower shop one time and bought like 2 feet. I think the guy charged me $5 a foot.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Mower shops will get you. You were talking about, when you're in the snowmobile business, Tharzacks will probably know where this is. On Green Lake, there's a motor shop that was around forever. And one time I was going in there for some mini bike parts, sprockets, whatever. And their clutches were real expensive for what they were. But he said, well, I got some stuff upstairs. He had stuff upstairs from the 60s that nobody's touched. It had dust on it. And he's like, I'm not supposed to let anyone up there. And I'm with my son. He's a little kid at the time. That's why we were doing mini bikes. And I go up there and it was like heaven. He had all the 60s mini bike stuff there. And they still had the old prices on them. And he was like, you got to hurry up. We can't. And so he was rushing us. And I was like, I want to stay here for hours. And there's probably still stuff up there. Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. And that's a similar situation where we had bought out, I say we, but the shop that I worked at had bought out an old motorcycle dealer. And there was Yamaha parts from, I want to say like 1970 up through the 80s. I mean, like brand new gas tanks, brand new. And yeah, so, but it was just, they were old enough that it was hard to find the person that actually wanted or needed it.
Well, I had a friend that told me that his friend, an old guy, was redoing his yard with a backhoe or whatever, and he was going to bury 2 motorcycles because he just wants to get rid of them. So he's just going to bury them in his yard. And he's like, are you interested? And I'm like, hell yeah, I can do something with the frames or something. And they're free. Just get them out of here. One was a Honda Trials bike, okay, with the aluminum gas tank. And it didn't, the compression was bad on it and everything. And I had him sitting in the yard, and the other one was a dirt bike. And I had him sitting in the yard and everything. I'm like, you know what? Why did I do this? I don't have time for this. So I put an ad on Craigslist, and I was getting hammered. I was getting hammered with phone calls.
Yeah, well, that Trials bike was probably pretty much collectible.
It was collectible because after I sold them, and man, guys were begging to be first to come down and get them, and boom. And I said, I want it, boom, bang, pow, no tinking around. I want it out in 1 hour. Whoever's like that. So guy came picking them up. I looked on eBay for the gas tank alone, and it was like $300. Collectible. Yeah. Because it was aluminum, original paint, looked good. Everything was, I'm such an idiot. Yeah, I could have ordered that thing out.
Yeah, that was, there was an era in the mid 70s where all the Japanese companies were pretty much making a Trials bike. And they may not have been the best, the European stuff was probably lighter, maybe not more reliable, but it was a bigger sport in Europe.
Yeah, you had the Huskies.
Montesa.
Yeah.
Bultaco.
I always liked how the Trials bikes looked. They were so clean and, high off the ground, and they just look cool, that era.
Yeah. Simplicity. Well, you should see the stuff today. It's really changed.
Yeah, I know.
We have a couple of Trials clubs around here, so there's a fair amount of guys in it. They used to run a lot of events nearby.
Yeah.
Tharzacks, BMW R75.
Is he talking about the sideways engines with the cylinders like on each side? I was like, what the hell? They're very nice bikes and they run forever, but I always thought it was weird. It's low bore axis, I guess, or low center of gravity. But when you're turning, you got all that. I know guys that would skitch that engine.
Oh, absolutely.
I had one guy. Oh man, I had one friend that could lean a bike like nobody. I've never seen anyone lean a bike like that unless you're a pro. Going around a corner. Oh my God. I tried to keep up with him once. I almost lost it. He'll scrape pegs. He'll do all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But he could lean it. Yeah, going
But
fast.
what was funny about those is that you'd pull up to a red light, and if you revved the engine up, the bike would kind of, because of the crankshaft, went with you.
Yeah.
Instead of this way, it went this way. So
Yeah,
we kind of do this a little bit.
never had the pleasure of riding one of those old guys with the engine sideways like that, but they were cool. I mean, they were funky. It was a certain taste. But now you look at them and they're like, oh, those are awesome. Yeah.
They still have that same design pretty much.
Well, I'm talking about the first ones where they're this way, the cylinders.
Yeah,
And
they still make models that do that.
Huh. Okay. Kind
In
of
the
like
80s.
a Porsche engine.
Yeah, it's a flat opposed, basically.
Like a boxer engine kind of thing.
Yeah. In the 80s, they made a 4-cylinder model. It wasn't the same setup. It was like an inline. And if I remember correctly, that went that way also. And
Well, I thought they V'd upward after that, after the 70s.
BMW, I don't think BMW did. If they did, it didn't last long. But
because I remember Honda went through that for a little while. It was like a Harley engine sideways, but it was sideways instead of inline.
Yeah, they did that. They did that for sure.
And it's kind of like top heavy heads on them,
Yeah, that was water cooled too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the bike.
Let's see. The battery is good. Well, the Georgia chat's going to start soon.
Yeah, we should probably jump off here.
Yeah, be a good time.
I don't want to burn all my...
Under control. So Saturday, I'll just announce it's on your channel. Saturday night.
Yep. Yeah, that should work.
All right.
All right. Yeah, guys in the side chat, thanks for stopping. Kind of an impromptu chat here. Appreciate you stopping. And I think we're going to peel out of here. Uncle Jim, have anything to say?
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.
All right. We're cutting out.
See you tomorrow.
Yep.
Yep. Bye.
Oh, PCC left too. All right. Good night. Have a good one.
Yep.